A very good morning. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about pumps, right? So what is the pump? Pump is a device which is used to provide energy to a fluid, right? Okay. So what is the basic difference between turbine and pump? Okay. So turbine works from higher pressure side to lower pressure side, whereas the pump flow takes place from lower pressure towards higher pressure, right? So this is the basic difference between pump and turbine, right? Now we are going to discuss about classification of pumps. Pumps are basically classified into dynamic pressure pump and positive displacement pump. Okay, so in dynamic pressure pumps there are some sub classifications like centrifugal, propeller and turbine. Okay, so in this lecture we are going to focus about positive displacement pump, namely reciprocating and rotary, right? So our main area is to concentrate on reciprocating pumps. Okay, so reciprocating pump is basically subclassified as piston and diaphragm based pumps, and rotary is subclassified as gear, lobe, screw, vane, rotary and plunger type. Rotary, plunger type. Okay, right. So now we are going to see about reciprocating pump. So reciprocating pump is a positive displacement pump. Okay, so it used to rise a fluid, okay, by actually displacing in with a piston and plunger that execute a reciprocating motion in a closely fitting cylinder, right? Yeah, piston cylinder arrangement will be there, okay, similar to that of IC engine, right? Yeah, piston cylinder arrangement will be there similar to that of IC engine. Okay, okay. When a piston moves down, it creates a vacuum where water flows into the cylinder. Okay, when piston moves forward, okay, the water in the cylinder is delivered to the delivery pipe. Okay, right? So in this transformation, pressure is added to the water. Okay, the amount of liquid pumped is equal to the volume displaced by this piston. Okay, the amount of liquid the amount of liquid pumped will be equal to the volume displaced by this piston. Okay, okay. I hope you know about IDC or TDC, top dead center and bottom dead center, and what is best stroke length and swept stroke length, swept volume, right? Clearance volume, right? So these are the basic terminologies in a piston cylinder arrangement. I hope you know about this, right? Okay, so the pumps designed with a disc piston to create a pressure up to 25 bar. Okay, and the plunger pumps built still higher pressures, right? The discharge from these pumps is almost wholly depend upon the pump speed. Okay, it is usually connected with a connecting rod and through a crank. Okay, the discharge is mainly depend upon the pump speed, right? Now we are going to see about how it works. Okay, so it has a suction valve, it has a suction valve, right, and suction pipe, through this water it inflows. Okay, so your vacuum is created during the suction stroke. Okay, and the vacuum is filled by the water. Okay, when the piston moves forward, water is discharged through discharge valve in discharge pipe with the increased pressure. Okay, so this pump speed is directly proportional to discharge, right? Okay, so the total efficiency of reciprocating pump is generally 10 to 20 percentage is higher than that of centrifugal pump, but we have a disadvantage due to its due to their high capital cost, and as well as many moving parts are there, so have a we have to spend for maintenance cost. Okay, however, uh, small hand operated pumps like cycle pumps, football pumps, kerosene pumps in village site, right? So still we are using this reciprocating pump. Okay, so the reciprocating pump is best suited for small, relatively very small capacities and high head. Okay, so generally the reciprocating pump is employed for light oil pumping, feeding small boilers and pneumatic pressure systems. Okay, so these are the some of the application where we are using reciprocating pumps. Okay, so the classification of reciprocating pumps, usually it is a single acting pump and double acting pump. Okay, so when a piston is at one side, we will call it as a single acting pump. When the piston is at both sides, we will refer it as a double acting pump. Okay, according to the number of cylinder, it is a single cylinder, double cylinder, triple cylinder, and duplex double acting, right? Quintup, quintuplex pump. Okay, it is based on the classification is based on number of cylinders. Okay, so in general, reciprocating pumps having more than one cylinder is called multi-cylinder pumps. Okay, so as we what we discussed, so these are the major parts of reciprocating pumps. Okay, so the reciprocating pumps consist of a cylinder with a piston arrangement. Okay, so this piston rod is connected to a connecting rod and through a crank, right? Okay, so when the crank is at this point, it is IDC. Okay, the piston will be at top dead center or inner dead center. Okay, when the piston revolves around it, when it reaches the here, this point reaches here, it is called ODC, right? Outer dead center, or else bottom dead center. Okay, the piston will reach this point. Okay, during the rotation of crank, okay, a suction and delivery stroke has been takes place, right, at the surface of water level to the midpoint of the cylinder is known as suction head, and midpoint of cylinder to at the level of delivery is called delivery head. Okay, so other major parts is a one way suction valve and delivery valve is placed, right, in the suction pipe and delivery pipe respectively. Okay, so a double acting reciprocating pump looks like this. Okay, so look at here two suction pipe and two delivery pipe. Okay, when piston moves in this direction, vacuum is created here, right, and water gets into it. Okay, when the piston moves for backward direction, the sucked water is delivered through delivery pipes, and similarly we are getting a water inflow at other side of the piston, right? I hope you understand the working of double acting reciprocating pump. Okay, in single acting pump, okay, we are getting only one discharge, whereas in double acting pump for each rotation the suction and delivery is happening. Yes, so the discharge versus theta variation for a single acting and double acting pump is given here, right? From this figure we know we are taking d as a diameter of cylinder. In order to calculate the cross sectional area of a cylinder, we are using pi by 4 t square, and r is the radius of crank, right? R is the radius of crank. It will be taken as r. In order to calculate the stroke length, it is 2 times of r. It is the diameter of this line. This is this circle, right? H is the height of cylinder from the liquid surface. It be in meter, and HD is the height of liquid rise above the center, of cylinder, right? Okay, so we know what is my volume, that is area into length, and what is my discharge? Discharge is nothing but area into velocity. Okay, I am multiplying area into length into speed. Okay, it will be in rpm, rotation per minute, so I'm converting into second, rps. Now it is a discharge. Okay, area, length, right, and speed. Now it is discharge. Okay, so to convert into weight of water delivered per second, I'm adding a specific weight, WALN divided by 60, nothing but rho into G. Then what is the work done? So the weight of water lifted to the total height. What is the total height? I am lifting the water from the bottom surface to from the bottom surface to the liquid raised above the center of cylinder. It is nothing but delivery head, and here is center of cylinder. It is suction head. Okay, it doesn't mean the length of a suction pipe and length of a delivery pipe. Okay, so the total height where I am lifting from the surface of water, okay, from the surface of water to the liquid raised above the center of cylinder. Okay, so in order to calculate the work done, it should be multiplied by the total height, nothing but hs plus hd, that is work done. Okay, so the power required to drive the pump is, I have to explain in kilowatt, just I'm adding 1000, so your answer will be in WALN divided by 60 into 1000 kilowatt HS plus HD. All right, I hope you understand this. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about some parameters what we have using in reciprocating pump. Okay, so coefficient of discharge we already have studied in this parameter in turbine also, right? So yes, of course, there is a variation in actual discharge and theoretical discharge. It is due to the leakage of valves and imperfect operation of valves and partial filling of cylinder. Okay, so CD is nothing but the ratio of actual discharge to theoretical discharge. Okay, so when the value of CD is expressed in percentage, it is known as volumetric efficiency of a pump. Okay, so the range of this pump has a volumetric efficiency of 85 to 98 percentage. Next, we are going to see about slip. Slip means a difference between theoretical discharge and actual discharge. Okay, so the percentage of slip is calculated as the ratio of difference between theoretical and actual discharge by theoretical discharge. Okay, so it should be maintained in its order of 2 percentage or even less for good condition of a reciprocating pump. Okay, so there be cause of negative slip. Okay, in actual cases, okay, in most of the cases, in most of reciprocating pumps, actual discharge is less than theoretical discharge. Okay, so in such cases, CD value is less than U90 and the slip of pump test will be positive. But in some cases, actual discharge is more than that of theoretical discharge. The slip is theoretical discharge minus actual discharge divided by theoretical discharge. We can write it as 1 minus actual by theoretical. Alright. Okay. So when the theoretical value is less than actual discharge, okay, it will be the CD value will be more than U90, will be greater than 1 and the slip becomes negative. Okay, this happens only when the suction pipe, we have a long suction pipe and a short delivery pipe. Okay, when we are operating at higher speed, there may be a chance of occurring a negative slip. Okay, so next we are going to see a problem based on the formula what we have seen in previous slide. Okay, a single acting reciprocating pump running at 50 rpm delivers 0.00736 meter cube per second of water. The diameter of piston is 200 mm and stroke length is 300 mm. Right? So the suction and delivery heads are 3.5 meter and 11.5 meter respectively. So we have to find out the theoretical discharge, coefficient of discharge, and percentage of slip of pump and power required to run the pump. Right? So what is the formula for theoretical discharge? What we have seen. So theoretical discharge is nothing but area into velocity. And here to calculate this velocity, we are multiplying area into length, stroke length into by 60. Alright. So here the diameter of piston is given so that you can able to find out the value of area. Stroke length is given, that is L, and the speed of the piston is given, it is running at 50 rpm. Convert into second, that is rps. So by this we can able to find out the theoretical discharge. Then what about actual discharge? So Q actual discharge is given here, right? So Q actual is nothing but 0.00736 meter cube per second. Then what is my coefficient of the charge? CD is nothing but Q actual by Q theoretical. Okay. Then what about percentage of slip? So 1 minus CD into 100. This is the percentage of slip, right? And power required. So weight of fluid into weight of water lifted per second, weight of water lifted per second into total height, right? So in order to find out the weight of water, specific weight of water, ALN, okay, divided by 60 into 1000, okay, total height is nothing but HS plus HT. Okay, the unit will be in kilowatt. When you forget to put this 1000, the unit will be in watts. Okay, right. Let me see the values. Yes, the theoretical discharge is ALN by 60, area, stroke length, and speed divided by 60. Okay, so the coefficient of discharge is actual discharge by theoretical discharge, and percentage of slip is given by Q theoretical minus actual divided by theoretical, and power required to run the pump is weight of water lifted per second into total height. Alright, so the power required to drive the pump is 1.15 kilowatt. Okay, so this is a basic sum in reciprocating pump. Okay, right. Now take down your homework. With these concepts, solve these two problems and submit in our Google Classroom, or else you can post it as a comment. All right, thank you for your time.